So guys, after the emotional consequences we saw building in episode 45, episode 46 of Arafta feels like the episode where hesitation finally starts to crack. This is no longer about distance quietly growing between Mercan and Ateş. Episode 46 is about pressure, emotional pressure, internal pressure, and the kind of pressure that forces people to act even when they're not ready. In episode 46, Mercan will continue moving forward, but this time her actions will feel more defined. In earlier episodes, she was creating distance and setting boundaries. Now, she may start making choices that clearly reflect a new direction in her life. This doesn't mean she suddenly becomes harsh or cold. Instead, she will appear focused, intentional, and emotionally grounded. Mercan will act like someone who has already made peace with uncertainty and is no longer willing to live inside it. One of the most important shifts in episode 46 is that Mercan may stop engaging in emotionally heavy conversations altogether. Where Ateş expects explanations, reactions, or reassurance, Mercan may offer calm silence or brief responses. This will not come from anger, but from emotional clarity. She will no longer feel the need to prove how much she cares or how much she's been hurt. Ateş, on the other hand, will be under intense emotional strain in episode 46. The realization that Mercan is no longer emotionally waiting will start to feel unbearable. This episode may show Ateş reaching a breaking point internally. He will finally understand that the situation has moved beyond control and strategy. What scares him now is not exposure, it's irrelevance. The fear that Mercan might no longer need his truth at all will hit harder than any confrontation. Throughout episode 46, Ateş may appear conflicted and restless. He might attempt to speak but stop himself repeatedly. He may try to hold on to normalcy, pretending that things can still return to the way they were. But Mercan's calm detachment will make that impossible. The more Ateş delays, the more obvious it will become that he is losing the emotional ground he once stood on. Episode 46 may also bring a stronger role for external voices. Side characters could begin openly reacting to the tension. Someone may confront Ateş more directly, questioning his silence and warning him that time is running out. Someone else may encourage Mercan to keep choosing herself, reinforcing her decision not to return to emotional confusion. These outside influences will intensify the pressure and make the emotional divide impossible to ignore. Emotionally, episode 46 could give us one of Mercan's most defining moments yet. There may be a scene where she quietly acknowledges that love without honesty has limits. This realization will not be dramatic or tearful. Instead, it will be calm, firm, and deeply mature. Mercan will no longer see herself as someone waiting for answers. She will see herself as someone choosing peace. At the same time, Ateş may finally confront the reality that silence has cost him more than truth ever could. Episode 46 could show him replaying moments where he almost spoke, realizing that every delay pushed Mercan further away. This realization will bring regret, but also fear. Fear that even honesty now might not be enough to bridge the emotional distance. Another important possibility in episode 46 is that Mercan may take a visible step toward emotional independence. This could be a practical decision, a boundary she clearly states, or a choice that signals long-term change. These actions will make it clear that her inner decision is no longer hidden, it is becoming reality. As the episode progresses, conversations between Mercan and Ateş will feel heavier, but more honest in their silence. There will be fewer misunderstandings and more awareness. Episode 46 is not about uncovering new secrets, it's about living with the weight of what has already been hidden. Toward the final part of episode 46, we can expect a major emotional setup for the next chapter. Ateş may finally reach a point where confession feels unavoidable. Mercan, however, may reach a point where she is no longer waiting for that confession to move forward. This emotional mismatch, one desperate to speak, the other already prepared to walk ahead, will define the episode. The ending of episode 46 is likely to be subtle but powerful. Not a dramatic argument, but a moment that clearly shows momentum. Mercan may take a step that feels small but confirms a new path. Ateş may be left standing still, realizing that some silences cannot be undone, no matter how sincere the words that follow. Overall, episode 46 feels like the episode where emotional clarity turns into emotional momentum. Mercan continues choosing herself with strength and calm, while Ateş faces the reality that time, once lost, does not return. Love still exists, but now it stands beside consequence, timing, and the cost of waiting too long. If episode 46 unfolds this way, then the episodes ahead will no longer focus on whether the truth is spoken. They will focus on whether it still has the power to change anything. Before we end today's video, let me ask you one important question. Do you think Ateş will finally confess the truth in the next episode, or has Mercan already moved too far ahead for his words to matter anymore? Drop your answer in the comments below, because episode 47 is going to test whether honesty can still change anything. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and make sure you subscribe to Series World for daily previews, predictions, and full episode breakdowns of Arafta. Your support truly helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.